3.
Hi, my name's Jan. I'm with the Downtube. I want to introduce our new Dyan 24-inch wheel bike. I'm going to talk about, start with the controls, work my way down then from front to back of the bike. So here we have bar ends, which are great because they give you extra hand positions, so it's much more comfortable ride over longer distances. In addition, you can pull back on the bar ends if you're climbing a steep hill, and it'll create more friction on the rear wheel, allowing you to accelerate faster without working any harder with your legs, right? So it allows your upper body to be part of the process of climbing, which is really nice. And you can angle these bar ends with a 5mm wrench. They can be rotated up, down, so they can give you, a lot of people actually like to sit upright. So I rotate these bar ends straight up, and it allows them to get a more upright feel. And obviously some people like them lower down because you can get more of a tuck, more aerodynamic, and you can go faster. So to each his own. Everybody does their own thing, and that's nice. Ergonomic grips here, they're foam grips, really comfortable. I really like these grips. They're some of my favorite grips ever. So we have Tektro brake levers. We've been using these brake levers for quite a while. I'm not going to say exactly how long, in the ballpark of 5, maybe 7 years. And these are really, really quality, nice brake levers. I'm very happy with these, and I see no reason to change them in the future. They're just wonderful. A great, little comfort strip, 2-finger levers. They work perfectly and really tight, overall. Very nice levers. Here we have the 9-speed Juju M90 Sunrace trigger shifters. These are push-push. So essentially on the top it shifts up, and on the bottom it shifts down. And we also have a 10-speed Dyan, and that's a micro shifter. That's a push-pull system, and it's spring-loaded on the pull, so it's really nice. So that way you're using your index finger and your thumb. And to each his own. Everybody that prefers one to the other. I actually like the push-pull mechanism personally, but this one works perfectly well as well. We have an 1.5-inch rise on the bars, and that's ideal because people are not all the same, right? There's a correlation between arm length and leg length, and that's taken into account with the seat tube behind the bottom bracket. It's angled back, so as you lift the seat higher, it actually is giving you more length for your arms. However, people are different. Some people have longer arms, some people have shorter arms, and this 1.5 inches of length allows you to rotate the handlebars forward or back, or obviously anywhere in between, to accommodate for longer, shorter arms, or just, different styles. Some people just like to sit a little bit differently than others. The definition of comfort is independent. I mean, it's an independent kind of thing. Everybody has their own little understanding of what comfort is on a bike, right? And so this gives you more possibilities, so it's really nice. Here we have a quick release on the top of the stem to allow you to just rotate everything for 2 reasons. First of all, if you're not comfortable, you can just rotate it while you're on the road and get to be comfortable. In addition, the biggest problem with folding bikes as far as looks is when you fold them, the brake levers scratch the rest of the frame, so you can rotate the brake levers out of the way when you fold it, if you so choose, right? If that's important to you. The controls on the left are really the same other than the bell, so we'll disregard that. So here we have a really nice stem, and has a locking mechanism here, but it's on the other side, so I'm not going to focus on that. I'll fold the bike at the end of the video. We have a 3-bolt interface for a bag system, which is really ideal. What do I mean? It's really ideal. Well, bikes generally have drivetrains that are very heavy. That's the heaviest part of the bike, so they're all rear heavy. So carrying loads in the front of the bike obviously makes a lot more sense to make it feel more 50-50. So it's going to accelerate better, not drag on the back. And so having a bag system in the front is really perfect. We have Tektro V-brakes up front, which is really ideal. We actually have a disc hub in the front, so you can easily go to disc, but I prefer V-brakes on folding bikes because you're more likely to bend rotors on a folding bike as you fold and unfold it, especially if you're traveling, putting in a suitcase and things like that. As far as the rims go, machine style wall rims allow the brakes to bite down something rough, so they stop much better. Double wall rims mean these are really tough rims, right? And as I mentioned before, we have 6-bolt interface on the hub, so it's quick and easy to go into a disc setup if you so choose. Okay, so if you'll notice, this is one of the few bikes we offer that doesn't have suspension. So why don't we put suspension on this bike? We do offer a suspension fork for it, which you can add aftermarket. The reason we don't put a suspension fork is this bike flexes a lot more than our smaller wheel bikes. You know, the frame's taller, the triangles are bigger. It's gonna be more comfortable, right? Just because of the flex of the frame, and the wheels are just gonna soak up so much more than the smaller 16 and even 20-inch wheels, to be honest. So therefore, it doesn't need suspension as much. So we don't put suspension on. You can put it on if you want. The point being, the value added by putting suspension on a big wheel bike that flexes like this is not gonna be worth it for everybody. So. And for a bigger, heavier rider, it would actually be still extremely valuable. I'm 205 for a frame reference. I use this bike all the time, and I see no reason for myself to put suspension on this. But I think a heavier rider, somebody who just needs a little bit more comfort, would prefer suspension, and so that is possible, right? Anyway, to each his own, right? Everybody chooses for themselves. One thing I forgot to mention is integrated headset here. We've been doing that for quite a while on all our bikes. Water bottle interface right here, nice little, locking mechanism for the frame. Folding pedals, cold forged crank. I'm not going to unfold the pedals because I'll fold the bike in a few minutes. A cold forged crank, which is really nice, and 9-speed chain with a master link. And the Microshift has a 10-speed chain with a master link. It's the same setup, right? But instead of the 9, you get the 10. And it's a much narrower chain, really nice looking on a 10-speed, to be completely honest with you. I think it's really beautiful. We have a kickstand here at the bottom. I don't know if that's visible or not. Same setup on the rear as in the front. What do I mean by same setup? Double wall rim, 6-ball interface on the hub, disc tabs on the rear, and so, in addition, we have replaceable rear derailleur hanger. The weakest part of a frame is actually, it's not necessarily the rear derailleur, but it's the place that the rear derailleur lives on. In that if you crash, the rear derailleur acts as a lever and it'll bend the frame at that point. So it's essential to have a replaceable hanger. And so 5mm bolt holds a hanger in place. You just, you bend it up, you break it, no big deal. You just remove the hanger, throw in the trash, and just replace it. So the weakest point is replaceable. So it doesn't have, so that weakness is removed is the argument. Anyway, so let me just, fold this up, and right here, just lift up. And this is it. Well, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it.